What a good stretcher. Give it up for Joy, everybody. Isn't she amazing? Truly amazing. I can't tell you how great it is to be here in front of all of you. Before I get into anything, I just have to tell you it's truly a pleasure to be here. So thank you for being here tonight. Everyone who made it happen. It's very fucking beautiful. And the moon's here, which is also great. I didn't think she'd show. So before you ask, some of you know me, some of you don't. That's fine. We'll get to know each other. This is my real hair color. It's peach. And it's all natural. Oh, hey. Oh, I thought we were a mirror. Never mind. My bad. Actually, I don't know about you, but I don't think I ever deserved to have hair in the first place. I've seen pictures of what I did to it. It wasn't good. I, at one point in my life, rocked a bowl cut with a part down the middle. And by point in my life, I mean 3 years. Yeah, I know, yeah. I think at that point my hair was like, listen, if you're not going to take this serious, we're just going to go. We're just going to move our operations south. There's a lot more room to spread out the brands, you know? There's a warmer climate. The fucked up part about it is when you're balding, you get insecure. You're like, I can't grow hair. But the truth is, I can grow hair really well. Just not here. A friend of mine once described my body hair. He said, MJ's body hair is like an iceberg. Because the part you can see is 10% of the mass waiting beneath the surface. Which makes me sound like I have enough body hair to sink the Titanic. And that's a point of pride for me. Never let go. One nice part about being hairy is that I'm never cold. Sorry about tonight. I didn't expect to be cold here, but this is tropical for me right now. The other best part is if I wanted to strip professionally, I do it for fun. I would have my own stage name, which is Bigfoot. And I would fill the stage with like ficus trees and fog. And the DJ would be like, all right, everybody, this next act allows photographs, if you can get one. And they'd be like foggy. I just walk across the stage every so often, like a little scantily clad each time, like, ooh. I think it'd work. People would pay. I feel a good kinship with Bigfoot because we're both big, we're both hairy, and no one can get a good picture of us. Oh, was that for me or for him? Or they, or she, who knows? Just a Bigfoot. Wake up, guys, get woke. I'm here from Minneapolis to teach you in LA to be woke. How's that fucking feel? It's good. As I said, my name is MJ. It's a nickname. Surprise. My mom just didn't give up after 2 letters. You know, she was like, just fucking sure. Another epidural, please. Bring it in here. It's MJ for Michael John. It's a Gaelic spelling of Michael and John. It's Scottish. It's actually pronounced in the UK. But here it translates into Michael John. Or tonight, MJ. One of my first jobs I got in my adult life was at a TGI Fridays. It was the first job I found. It was before I found, what's that called? Oh, self-respect. Yes, and I met a good friend of mine. Her name is Emily, and she was like, what's your name? I was like, MJ. And she's like, what's your nickname? I was like, MJ. She's like, I'm going to give you a nickname. And I was like, I don't think that's necessary. And she's like, you're funny. And I was like, thank you, Emily. So the next day I get to work, and I see her, and she's like, yo, what's up, M Jizzle? And I said, Emily? We both know we shouldn't be using Ebonics, right? And secondly, can you not give me a nickname that has the word jizz in it? I really appreciate that. And she was like, you're funny. And I was like, that wasn't a joke, but also thank you, Emily. And then, like, somewhere in the middle of the shift, she, like, walks up. She's like, hey, we're going to have a cigarette break. Are you coming, Jizzy Jizz? I was like, what the fuck? Why did you double down on the part that I hated? Like, that's the area I had notes on. And she went for it. Later that night, you know, we're in dinner rush, and it's really busy, because, you know, TGIF. And sorry, a little bit of my soul escapes every time. And I'm behind the bar, and I'm cranking them out like I do. And She comes in, she's slammed, she's got double sat. She walks up to the service station, she slams her tray down, she goes, "Jizz, I need 2 margaritas and one." I was like, no, Emily. How do you take my 2-letter nickname, stretch it out to M Jizzle, and it snapped back to Jizz? That's not fair. I have never done anything to deserve the nickname Jizz, even when I was Jizz. And by that metric, I was equally an egg. I'm already a grown man dressed as a circus tent at his job. I don't need that nickname. I already have to deal with people. People would come in, and we've done this. We all done it at one point. We're all guilty of it. You ask someone who works for the corporation as if they are the corporation a question. So go to my table, like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Why did you raise the price on the mac and cheese bites?" I'm like, "Sorry, what did I raise the price on the mac and cheese bites?" "Oh, I don't know. On my bus ride here, I thought no one really appreciates his mac and cheese bites enough. I'm going to raise him 17 cents. And then I'm going to talk to everyone who asks me that question. And then someone will be like, "Oh, how are your pot stickers?" Frozen right now." But they'll be to your table in less than 5 minutes. And they're $4. Why are we having this conversation? "Sorry, I yelled at you. I'll be right back with the green bean fries. If you need anything, just ask for Jizz." I do love her, though. She's great. She does text me every so often, and she doesn't even know this joke is about her. It's not about her, it's about me. And she's made a joke of my name, but she'll literally text me, in all seriousness, I haven't seen her in 4 years, she goes, "Jizz, I love and miss you. I was just thinking about you." I was like, "Did your adult brain type that, right? Like, you read it and then sent it." I still love her. I got to see the Rolling Stones last week. Any Rolling Stones fans in the house? Okay, so we all bought a shirt at Target. Yeah. They're fucking great, by the way. Tiny ice, I can't do it. Only big chunks for this guy. I saw the Rolling Stones. They're still doing it. They're amazing. They're all like pushing 80 and they're fucking doing it. It's amazing. And I really do think Mick Jagger is one of the greatest frontmen ever. And I know that now because he's 78 and he's still doing crowd work. And it makes no sense. And I had no idea how much I appreciated that as a fan and as someone who didn't need that because he has a litany of work it stands for itself. But I didn't realize we had so much in common, too. He goes by Mick Jagger, MJ. He's in the Rolling Stones. I was rolling and stoned at the concert. He is 78. His wife is 34. I'm 36. My future wife hasn't been born yet. She's an egg. For now. So gross. The greatest thing ever, though, is I saw them, and he's doing, again, like regional humor. That did not, again, it wasn't necessary at all. And I don't know if you're familiar with Minneapolis, but we have the Juicy Lucy. Yeah, they're so tired from eating it that they can't clap because it's just a double cheeseburger with cheese in the middle. It's like, who would have thought? Don't put it on top, put it inside. Anyway, that's our claim to fame. So, the Stones are killing it. It's halfway through the set. He goes, "All right, Minneapolis. This morning I woke up, I had a Juicy Lucy. I had one from Matt's Bar and one from the 5-8 Club. And then I washed it down with a grain belt and a Fulton and a Surly." And the place is like, I was like, I don't think that you did that. He's 78 years old. He had open heart surgery last year. I mean, your crowd work is telling me you ate 2 double cheeseburgers and 3 beers? Motherfucker's gambling. I had such a good time seeing them. I actually saw them once before in 2019 in Philadelphia. I didn't expect to be there. I was just in Philadelphia, and they were there, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to see the Stones tonight. My friend's like, "You're going to go alone?" I was like, "No, it's 80,000 people and me." And all of like my, I was going to say ancestors, but like basically grandparents who were gone who were like, "Yes, this is what we wanted for you too." I'm not alone. I'm just, hi. And I get there, and it's great. It's amazing. And halfway through the show, he's like, "All right, Philadelphia. Love being in the Eagles Stadium." He's like, "Where were we last night?" "Oh, that's right. Jacksonville, Florida. Jaguar Stadium. And he goes, that's what we said too. It's like, that works. This dude grabs his friend next to him and goes, bro, he hates the fucking Jaguars. I was like, no, he doesn't. 80-year-old millionaire British guy. He doesn't give a fuck about the Jaguars. But he cares about the crowd, and that's what I appreciate about him. Speaking of great shows, does anyone here do a live drag queen show? Like live? Yeah, hell yes, absolutely. Follow-up question. Has anyone ever been to a drag king show?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Well, so you understand the concept of drag queen, right? The performers presenting as a woman, and they're beautiful. They have tons of makeup, amazing outfits, choreography, lip sync to the point, right? And the drag king very much follow through. However, it's a male, so they are doing the most like male thing. And most of what I've seen from most of the drag kings, not all of them, but most of them, backwards baseball hat, chin strap beard, hoodie, tight pants with a big fake dick that they just constantly grab, and mumble rap. And I'm watching it like, is that a man? Because I've been doing it wrong forever. And that's what we want to emulate. Like, I don't quite understand it, because in the soul of this drag queen, she comes out and she is fucking Barbra Streisand. Like, she's like not even lip syncing, she sang it and she fucking killed it. And this drag king comes out, and it's a guy who owns a vape store? And this next drag queen, she came out, and she was Judy Garland. Not only that, she was specifically Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, right? So she came out like this, black and white, right? You know where this is going. Oh, yeah. And during the high point, she turns Technicolor on both sides, like Wizard of Oz. House is brought down. They're like, please welcome to the stage, Fred Durst. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. Up next, Bette Midler. After that, Turtle from Entourage. It didn't track for me. I didn't quite understand that. Speaking of things I don't understand quite, is I read a book last year, which I realize that's the lead-in for that. I don't understand books. I read The Picture of Dorian Gray. Has anyone ever read that? It's by Oscar Wilde. So it's a famous Gothic novella, if you will. It's a little dark and very intriguing. But if you haven't read it, brief synopsis, basically is the story of this beautiful young British man who is a bit of a dandy and has a bit of money, and he fears death, like we all do. He gets a painting done of him to encapsulate how beautiful and perfect he is right now, and somehow the painting's magic. They don't quite get into that, but that's okay. Just go with it. He has this magical painting. He realizes over time that he's not aging at all, but the painting is. And that anything he chooses to do to himself, to his body, anything, will happen to the painting and not to him. So long as he never sees it and no one ever sees it. So he hides it away in this attic, in this closet area, and he shuts it away. And it's this big secret. And he lives for a long time, does some pretty dastardly things. Like he can fuck whoever he wants. He'll never die of syphilis. He can never OD. He can do any drug, and he's just out there doing it. And he's fine. And I don't want to ruin the ending for you. That's not the ending. No, it would just keep going on and on if that were the case. But I finished the book, and I read it online, and I'm also a bit of a masochist. So I immediately read the comments. And one of the first comments is, Oscar Wilde. Turns out dude was gay. SMH. And I was like, no. Oscar Wilde? No. Wait, you're telling me that the man who wrote a book about a man who will stay eternally youthful and beautiful and can fuck whoever he wants and never be judged so long as no one sees the real him trapped in a closet upstairs? That guy's gay? No. Wait, you mean Oscar Wilde, the guy who wrote Importance of Being Earnest? A stage play at a pivotal moment in the story. A man is so nervous about asking someone to marry him that he eats too many cucumber sandwiches. You're telling me that writer was gay? No. Picture of Dorian Gray, if you ever read it, is just endless beautiful descriptions of men. Just beautiful men, and that's it. There are two female characters, neither of which get a last name. One of the lines in the passages is, Dorian's slender fingers pulled his cigarette away from his perfect lips as the smoke curled around his nose. Another dreary day in London, said Lord Harry Wanton, who looked out the window. auburn hair brushing his pink cheek. And then Sybil walks in, and she's some bitch who works there, I don't know. Brown hair, kind of frizzy. Dorian, though. That guy was gay? Wow. Blew my mind. Thank you so much for the hot tip on that one, neck_romancer. I had no idea that was happening. Speaking of books, do you guys remember the Lorax? Yeah. Okay, cool, excellent. By Dr. Seuss, it's the Lorax. And it's about this little guy. These oncelers are cutting down trees. They like to use things once. And they cut down these trees, and they're using them. And this little Lorax guy pops out. He speaks for the trees, because trees can't talk, right? And he's like, hey, don't do that. But he rhymes. It's Dr. Seuss. And they're like, why not? And he's like, trees are important. That's the whole message of the book. It's about conservation, honestly. Isn't it fucked up that that's a book? Like printed on paper. Not to mention Dr. Seuss is famously hardcover. Even more paper is involved in making this book. That book got translated into 11 languages. It sold over 330 million copies to this day. And it's about not cutting down trees. That is like a book on veganism being written on leather. I feel like that one got away from him, honestly. Yeah. That's he should be canceled for that book, specifically, as well. Throw it on the fire. That and all the pops who got hopped on. Okay. Who said, oh, and was it really for the pops that got hopped on? Does anyone actually know that book?
Yeah.
Man, fuck, I gotta play here more often. You guys are good. My bad. I'm gonna check my own Seuss prejudice and come back to y'all. My bad. I smoked weed for the first time. Oh. Thank you. 20 years ago, every day since. So good. And the greatest thing about it is, as time has caught up to all of us, and we all don't feel so ashamed to talk about it, we get to smoke weed with each other. Can you believe it? Yeah, thank you. I mean, y'all passed the law. We haven't yet, where I'm from. We're working on it. We're not. It's terrible. Well, here's the thing. Do you know who else smokes weed? Santa Claus. Absolutely, he does. Not only does he smoke weed, he's a guaranteed stoner. And allow me to lay out the case for you. He's consistently jolly. Always in a good mood, right? He's pictured often like holding his bowl of jelly, like squinty eyes, laughing, like at a bottle of Coke. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Right? He only owns one jacket. He always has a bag on him. He does all this work, and what does he want in return? Cookies. That's it. He wants everyone to be nice to each other, too. He's like, hey, man, don't be naughty, be nice, man. He even makes a list for that. Has to check it twice. That's a stone person. That's me on every grocery store trip. He has a job, but you like never see him working. You know what I mean? Also, his laugh. How about his laugh? Ho, ho, ho. Who in the history of humanity has ever laughed? Ho, ho, ho. Like, no one, right? I think it's written correctly. I think it's being pronounced wrong. It is. That's how Santa laughs. Think about this. The only time you've ever seen Santa, like seen him in real life, where is he? The mall. He's sitting at a fucking mall. And he's not even shopping. He's just sitting, listening to children as if their opinions matter. That is a stone person. That's me for the first hour of every Thanksgiving until the edible wears off. I'm like, man, my nephew's got a lot of fucking great points. Like an hour later, I'm like, I'm not Santa. Fucking out of here. He doesn't own a car. He has reindeer, but he named one Blitzen. Feels a little obvious on the nose, right? Like he was in the stable one night just smoking up, and he's like, You're fucking blitzing now, man. All right. Ooh, look at you dancing over here, you little dancer. All right. Fucking, you'll trot over here, you little prancer. Damn. It's been a pretty productive night for me. All right. Speaking of Santa, I never met my father growing up, and that's a better transition than you think. Some of you will be like, oh, that's why he said that later. But I never met my father, my birth father, growing up. And I turned. It's okay, guys. By the way, everyone. Y'all got real quiet when I talked about drag queens and drag kings. Now you got really quiet because you're caring, and I appreciate that. I want to let you know that we're all taken care of and everything's going to be okay. Okay, cool. I had never met my father, so I reached out to him. Turns out he didn't live too far away. I wrote him a letter. I was like, hey, I'm just curious. I don't have any ill will against you. I love my life. I was raised by my mother. I have nothing but great support and great family and love in my life. And I love who I am. And I want to show that off to you. I just reached out and I was like, I'm curious. If you're curious, let's do this. And if not, that's okay too. But I tried. And he reached out. He said, let's meet. And he came to meet me. And we went to a bar, a weekday at 2 p.m. And I was like, well, that's where I get that from. Okay. And I walk in. It's really slow, right? There's just the bartender. There's a guy around my age. There's an older guy. The older guy looks at me. He goes, well, it's got to be me, right? And I was like, hell yeah, man. He's opening with a joke. I like this. Okay, good. So we sit down at the bar with him. You know, we're just chatting, and it was lovely. It was awkward, of course, weird, but it was lovely. We were connecting. And the bartender walks up like, here's some menus, guys. Fuck, I'm sorry. It's so slow. Do you guys mind if I turn the sound on for the TVs? And I'm like, dude, I'm meeting my biological father for the first time in my life. You can't possibly distract me. What I actually said was, yeah, man. But in my mind, I thought that. So he turns on the sound of the TVs, whatever, watching something on TNT, and turns out it's Avatar. And it's the finale, and it's going well. And it's going well as a film. It's not going well for the Na'vi. But I'm talking to my dad, right? I'm like focusing on that, trying. And he's talking about retirement and golf and stuff. And I was like, that's amazing. And then Avatar ends. And another movie comes up, and it's a Jerry Bruckheimer jam, Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Dead man's chest. A few of you might know where I'm going. In the back of my nerd brain, I'm thinking, holy shit, this is the one where Orlando Bloom meets his father and confronts him on leaving his mother. Oh my fucking God, please change the channel. And I look at him, and he's talking, and I'm like, does he know? I don't know how familiar he is with the pirate saga, but maybe I am my father's son. Maybe he's like, oh my fucking God, this is the one where Orlando Bloom meets his father. Come on. He's like, oh, check, please. But he doesn't. And the movie keeps going, and I'm like, please change the channel. Please change the fucking channel. I'm just trying to listen to retirement golf stories, which I never wanted to do in the first place. And there's this lull in our conversation. And Orlando Bloom's like, why did you run out on Mom and me? And he's like, I didn't leave. I always loved you. I never had a choice. I'm like, so you like being retired? Is that going well for you? Yeah? Please change the channel. Please. I'm just like willing the universe. And the dude changes the channel. I didn't even have to ask him. He just does it. He must have just not cared. He probably didn't see the first one. Changes the channel. Guess what the fuck is playing on TBS in May for no reason whatsoever? Elf. Yeah. And the dude goes, fuck yes. He puts it on every TV. And it's a sports bar. It's a small sports bar, but that's 6 TVs in our vicinity with the sound on. And if you're not familiar with Elf, it's a classic. You should watch it. But it's a story of an elf, Will Ferrell, who realizes that he's not his father's son, and he has to go meet his father and confront him. So now you're up to date. So that's happening, and now every bit of dialogue is about how he's not his father's son and how he has to go meet his father. And then he finally meets his father, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, even if he hasn't seen this movie, there's literally audio surrounding us right now. And a lull in our conversation, he's like, oh, because you're my dad, and we never met, and I love you, Dad. And he's like, I don't have a son. And I'm like, so golf? How do you win it's like Lois, right? Man, the universe has got jokes, man. The universe has fucking jokes. And the rest of the conversation went well, and I got home to my friend, and he knew the whole thing I was going through, you know, and he saw me, and he like put his, you know, his controller down so he knew he cared. He got up, he got me, he pulled me in, he's like, hey man, how was it? And I was like, Pirates of the Caribbean 2 came on, and then Elf came, he's like, no way, and I told him the whole story. And then I'm like, yeah, so that's that. And he's like, okay, I just want to let you know, MJ, you just told me 20 minutes about 2 movies that we both have seen. How was meeting your father? I was like, oh yeah, that happened. That was today. Shit, I forgot about that. Ew. Like I said, I was raised by my mother primarily, and I did have 4 older sisters as well, which some people I tell that to, and people go, that makes a lot of sense. And I still don't know why that's funny, but it is who I am. Maybe it explains the shirt. Thank you. We're already friends. There was a point in my life with 4 older sisters. I was the baby and the only boy. I genuinely did believe I was going to get my period. And that I'm glad you found funny, because I still have not found that funny either. I really was like, oh, well, yeah, of course, I'm next. And I'm still a little bummed. I do have a tampon with me everywhere I go, just in case. I don't know. You don't know. But I remember one day waking up in like 4th grade, I did not want to go to school. And I had pulled off all the Ferris Bueller tricks I already could, you know, like the clammy hands and the stuff and the Casio. And I did something I'd seen my sisters do. So my mom was like, honey, get in the car, we gotta go. And I was like, oh, I don't feel good. I got cramps. I think I have my period. And I'll never forget this. My mom, she put her hand on my shoulder, and she got down on my level. And she said, get in the fucking car. I had no idea why I was in trouble. But then I got in the car, and my sisters explained it to me, both physically and verbally, why that was a mistake. And as it's been said in many ways, like, older siblings can be tough no matter what, but older sisters, they can scar you emotionally and physically. A friend of mine was like, oh, dude, my older brother, he tackled me one time. I landed on my elbow. Every time I open it, it clicks. I'm like, yeah? Wow. My sister said something so mean to me, I can never wear corduroy. Pants, jacket, don't matter. Never again. So take your pick, bro. Which one do you want? No, but I was very lucky because one of my older sisters came out. It was a choice. Not to be gay, to come out. Fuck, we recorded that. I just heard myself say it. I was like, no. Anyway, my sister came out, and she married her beautiful wife. So now I have another sister, which is great. And after having met my father, I found out I have a younger half-sister, too. So I have 6 sisters. And guess what? If she marries her partner, I'll have 7 fucking sisters. And still 0 periods. For me. But one great thing was my sister and her wife asked if I would be a donor. Yeah, well, specifically sperm. Jizz, if you will. In the moment, I just turned something so beautiful into something so crass. They didn't even I wasn't going to donate clothes to them. They have enough flannel. But they asked me if I'd be a donor, and in my mind immediately, I'm like, hell yeah. She's like, take your time. I'm like, I don't need to take time. That's just like lightning. I was like, yes. Like, fuck, yeah, of course. Now, I know I'm biased because it's my sister, and her wife is amazing. But they are the people who should raise people on this planet. They're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're intelligent. They will let them be whatever they want to be, and that's perfect. And I am not that, and I should not be raising children. But I never thought I'd get to be a part of that genetic experiment that we're all in, right? So we decided to do it at home, shake and bake style, and I helped. And so I just shook it. I didn't do anything big. they came to town to visit, and we go to the pharmacy, and my sister's like, yeah, we'll just do that. We'll go to the pharmacy, we'll go back to the house, and then bada bing, bada boom. And both her wife and I were like, never refer to that as bada bing, bada boom again. You impregnate your wife and raise a child, you sound like you're selling a car. Let's not do that. She's like, I'm just nervous. And we're like, we all are. So we go to this pharmacy, right? And we're in there. And you have to get, we got some rubber gloves and a plastic syringe, like for like dog's ears or in this case a uterus. And that was the one, by the way, Alex. I all day I was like, I'm just gonna hear him laugh one time, and I'll be so satisfied. Yeah. Okay. Let's give applause for Alex, by the way, too. Amazing. Just amazing. That's the one, baby. I feel so good already. End of story. So we're at this pharmacy, and my sister's grabbing, the gloves and thing, and she's like, we need a receptacle for this specimen. And I was like, yeah, okay, now you're being proper. So we need either glass or plastic. Metal kills, turns out. And so she grabs this shot glass. And it's not like, it's a shot glass, but it's the pharmacy brand shot glass. So it's got all the counts on it and millimeters and shit. I was just like, dude, I'm a bartender. I have 1 million shot glasses. Also, I don't want to count my ounces. She's like, why not? Just buy it. I'm like, I'm not going to come in a shot glass. I shouted at my sister at CVS. I was like, fine. And somehow we're arguing. And then, we leave the CVS and we get to my house, and it's an apartment. I'm not fancy. And I go in my room, and I'm go in the bathroom, and she's just like, cool. I'm like, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna fuck off. You guys do your thing. Cool. And she's like, yeah. And then just bada bing, bada. I'm like, fuck. Please don't. And yeah, so it's awkward, right? Of course. So I go in the bathroom, and she's like waiting for me to text her, like, I'm all clear. And like, honestly, I grew up with 4 older sisters, right? So if I were to tell you that this is the first time I'm masturbating in the bathroom while someone's waiting to use it, I'm lying to you. Absolutely lying to you. I practiced for this my whole life. At that point, I realized I don't have a receptacle. I wasn't started. I wasn't mid-stroke. It wasn't like Jason Biggs in American Pie, like, where do I put it? I left the bathroom, went to the kitchen, and I was gonna grab some Tupperware from some to-go food or something. I don't know. Something funny. I thought, break the tension. And I see this shot glass that they had actually gifted me for Christmas, and they lived in Austin, Texas. And it has the Austin City motto, which is, keep Austin weird. And I was like, hell yeah. So I used that as a receptacle for my specimen. And I left, and I went outside, and I lit 3 cigarettes at once. And a friend picked me up, and we were driving away, and all this hypotheticals were just this cloud of maybe, yeah, we'll do that. Just became a real fog that set in, this, we're navigating it, what do we do here? And then my phone, I look at it, bada bing, bada boom. I was so fucking mad at her. But I'm happy to report to you, it worked. Yeah. And I'm a proud uncle, papa. Not Uncle Daddy. That's not a thing you say. Just proud uncle. By the way, that applies, again, let's make sure, was for them, not for me. Again, they one of them created a human being, their circulatory system and skeleton, and then birthed them and is raising them. I had a muscle spasm in a shot glass in my own bathroom. And I do that all the time now. So do not applaud that for me. Just follow me on OnlyFans. We're all here to make money, baby. The greatest thing about that is, again, I have all this joy and zero responsibility. I'll work on a cigarette break or whatever. I'll look at my phone and I'll see a post. I'll be like, oh my God, look at him. His eyes are looking back at me, and there's new Star Wars trailer. I'll go back to him, of course, but after I watch that thing and complain about it. because it's not doing it right. But it's just an amazing thing I get to experience, like on the outside. And right now he's got to this place where, you know, when babies like speak and the parents translate as if like they said something normal, but they didn't. But they speak their kids' language, and so they're like, "What'd you do today, buddy?" It's like, that's right. We went to the park and we made a blanket for it. And I'm like, okay, that tracks. But now he's getting to the place where he's throwing in words that like he's mastered, and it's terrifying. Like I was on a Skype with my mom and my sister and the baby, and they're talking. I was like, what are you gonna have for dinner? He's like, man, hot dogs and mac and cheese. And you're like, I was an adult. It's terrifying. The thing about it is too, they say like having kids changes you, and I mean like it's weird because I don't have a kid. I have a nephew that I love. It's just another person in the world that loves him, right? But it has changed me in a way. Like I think about it, like I need to be around a little bit longer. And honestly, part of me thinks I need to be around long enough to be able to tell him this story and buy him a shot. As I threw that glass away, it's not going to be the most traumatizing thing ever. Guess what, kid? Guess what you just drank? That's terrible. No, I'm not doing that. It's not happening. God, that's supposed to be a really sweet ending, and it just didn't. Yeah. I will say this, not to bring the mood down, but in the terms of the circle of life. A couple years ago, I lost a friend of mine, and still sucks. And I should preface, he died. I didn't lose him. I know where he is. He's dead. He had a very dark sense of humor. He would have loved that joke. But I got asked to be a pallbearer. And if you don't know what that is, you help carry the body in the casket out of the church. And I was like, of course. And I was walking down the steps, and I just started getting really angry, you know, and it kind of overtook me. And it wasn't that I didn't get to say goodbye. It wasn't even that he was the age he was. I just thought to myself, how the fuck did he get me to help him move again? You absolutely would have loved that fucking joke, I'm not gonna lie. That's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for coming out.